Hello, hello. Josie here. Are you ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And are you sure? Okay, here we go. So I was driving back to my destination, and I was at a stoplight, and I find it very interesting that I did this because I seldom, rarely ever do something like this. I went in a direction that I originally was thinking about going in a different direction than the one I went in, but the direction I went in, it made more sense for where I was going towards. But initially, I wanted to go in a different direction. But I'm glad I didn't, because I got to the stop sign, the stoplight rather, and there was this older white guy in a vehicle 2 lanes over. And he was sitting there like he was in thought about something. He had a car full of people. Someone was in the passenger seat, 2 people were in the back seat. Even though I couldn't see exactly what they looked like, I could tell that there were people in the back seat, and more than likely they were older. But he was in the car, and he was just doing this number here. The word I'm going to use is pensive. I couldn't help myself. But to stare at this guy. Not because I found him attractive. I didn't. And I'm thinking about it now. I did not find him attractive. So it had nothing to do with lusting or being attracted to him in any way, shape, or form like that. It was something about him that just... I fixed my eyes in his direction. And I just watched him being pensive. And almost like he was in a perpetual state of thinking and or processing. He was not talking, was not communicating at all. And he looked over my direction. And I didn't break my gaze in his direction quickly just because he looked in my direction. I didn't care what he thought. But he moved his car up a little bit. I guess it disturbed him, or it made him kind of concerned or questioned or whatever. And I drove on after the light turned green, going in my direction. And I just chuckled. And I was thinking to myself, you wish. You wish. But I got to my destination and I heard perpetual state of thinking, perpetual state of processing, PSP. And currently what's going on right now in this world is causing a lot of people to question as well as be concerned in trying to figure out what they're going to do, how they're going to sustain, how they're going to survive. This is an older guy. I don't know if he's retired or not. He might be close to it. He might already be retired. He might not even be close to retiring. But a lot of people are going to be in PSP, perpetual state of processing, how they're going to deal, how they're going to get through, how they're going to survive, how they're going to be successful, how they're going to get through not just today, but the next day. Certain things that are coming up, questions, problems, issues. For all it, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say it how God wants me to say it. This man was in an elite area of town. More than likely just came from dinner with the people that he was in the car with. More than likely. If he's in this area of town, the specific area of town where I saw him at, he dropped quite a bit of money on that meal. There are a lot of people that are having a hard time keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak. But they're having a hard time even buying groceries, putting gas in their car, paying their bills, their car notes, so on and so forth. and they still feel as if they have to keep up, put on a front, put on a show other people that they've got it when they really don't, show every people that they have it together when they really don't. Robbing Peter to pay Paul, so to speak, but not only that, using their credit cards to sustain their livelihoods and knowing that they're not able to afford what they're engaging in. And at one point they may have been able to, now they're not. But they're not showing that they're going through something or that they're dealing with something. For all I know, that's how God wants me to say it, that man was more than likely processing current state of affairs in America and society, him being a white man and him having to suffer a lot of what other people are suffering and going through, and him thinking that he never would be in this position or this state of mind. Perpetual state of processing how he's going to make it happen. You can have the stock market, you can have your stocks and your bonds, you can have your 401k, you can have savings, but when I tell you, it runs out. It runs out. Especially if you have a high mortgage, high car note, expensive taste. It runs out. But his wife wanted to go to dinner tonight with their friends. It was this big ta-da, and he knew he was going to have to pay for it. God is going to have a lot of individuals break. He's going to have a lot of individuals break. A lot of these individuals that are going to break are individuals that have a lot of prejudices, may be racist, also toxic, boastful, bragging, showing off, acting as if they're better than others. He is going to cause a lot of people to break. I'm reminded of a couple in an affluent area of town that the husband killed his entire family, his children, his wife, and then committed suicide. This was someone that seemed to have had a really good life. They had a couple of businesses. They traveled, went to universities, prestigious universities, had the family, lived in the uptown neighborhood. And I say uptown, an affluent, prestigious, wealthy neighborhood. I don't know what they drove, but may have driven some nice vehicles. I question why he did that. What was his reason for doing so? You don't know what individuals are dealing with or going through. You don't know how close someone is to breaking and losing it. And a lot of these individuals, like I just described, they don't want anybody to know that they're not doing well. That's one. They don't want to lose what they have acquired what they have gained, the money, the wealth, the status, the friendships, connections, the businesses, the house, the car. They don't want to lose it. They don't want to be seen in their community as being less than, being without, not able to keep up with everybody. They don't want that. And a lot of individuals' minds, not everybody, but a lot of individuals, especially like the ones I've just described to you, they'd rather take themselves out as well as take out their family from having to deal and or go through or suffer. They'd rather take themselves out and their family rather than to make necessary changes or go through a period where they ain't got it like that. These are individuals that don't want to suffer. They see losing material things, losing status, losing rank, losing position, not able to keep up. They see that as being less than. That's a negative in their eyes, in their mind. And they're thinking about what other people are going to say about them, how other people are going to treat them, how people are going to feel about them, and they don't like that. God is going to cause a lot of people to break. Because a lot of these individuals, they need to know what it feels like to struggle. They need to know what it feels like to go through times where you're not sure how you're going to put food on the table. You're not sure how a bill is going to get paid. You're not sure how you're going to put gas in your car. You're not sure how you're going to take care of the necessities that you need to take care of. A lot of people have had it easy for years. They have had it easy. And they've seen other people struggle, go through it, suffer, have to downgrade, have to downsize. And a lot of those people were the same ones that did all the talking, talked about people, looked down on people, believed that they were superior to people that didn't have it like they had it. So now, it's time for these people to break. And a lot of these people, the same ones that didn't want to see a black American in office, in a position of power because of their racism and their prejudice, they put who is currently in office in charge, and look what's going on now. Look what's happening now. Everything that this person in charge said they weren't going to do, they're doing. But a lot of those same people are used to that type of behavior because they themselves have engaged in that type of behavior where they say they're going to do one thing and they lied and they didn't do what they said they were going to do. They were going to help a charity organization. Or they started a charity organization saying they were going to help less fortunate, but they were enjoying the tax write-offs of that organization. They were engaging in the parties and the festivities and not actually putting those resources into the communities to better them, to help people in their time of trouble, in their time of need. A lot of these individuals, they started these organizations, they started these businesses with one goal in mind that was so noble and so worthy and such a good cause, and you should invest in it, only then to flip and focus on the greed, focus on getting the money. They soured the quality of the product. They soured the mission of that 501c3 organization. Because they wanted to throw the parties, they wanted to go on the trips, they wanted to wear this, they wanted to drive this. They didn't give a damn about anybody but themselves. Now it's time, excuse me, for people, excuse me, now is the time for people to go through their breaking season. Some of us, like myself, were forced into seasons of poverty. We were forced into homelessness by others that believed we were just as bad as the individuals I just described to you, when we're not. I'm not. I've helped a lot of people over the course of my life thus far, and God has let me know that He's not done with me yet. These are individuals that wanted to take me out so that I couldn't do what God called me to do. But these are also individuals that were not only not called to do what God has called me to do, but they were never intending on doing good at all. They never had good intentions. They were going to engage, and did engage, in evil and wicked behaviors, cruel acts against other individuals. Because just like you have individuals that look down on others, seeing themselves as being better than, bigger than, having more than, these are individuals that were down at one point in time in their life, got up the wrong way, and then wanted to subject other people to down times that they have already been through, knowing how difficult it was, knowing how hard it was. They got off on seeing people struggle and be down and out and suffering, knowing what that feels like. Do you know what God's going to do to these individuals? I just heard it again. He's going to take them through there. He's going to take them through it. He's going to cause a lot of people to break, because these individuals broke others and tried to break others that never should have been touched.